Yep. Good evening, everyone. Yesterday we learned some more semantics. We discussed about some more semantics in HTML page, right? So in the semantics, what we learned yesterday, we saw some new things like code. Another one is var, and we have what else we saw? SAM. So those we will see today. One example for them, how to use that. Different footer designs we learned, how to create the footers aside and all. So you tried that footers also, you designed the footers also, right? Yeah. So yesterday we designed the footer for footer and main area for shopper template. For this shopper template, we designed the footer and the main area. So we used, yeah, we created this one. Yeah, we created this part, the footer and the template part. Everyone tried this? Everyone tried? Able to design? Huh? You have to practically finish day by day. What we learned in class, you must finish, right? So everyone got the idea of how to get images, link them and display, right? Able to create these type of footers. You understood the divisions, how to divide the contents. Already we saw that example. Okay. Now, next important is here. Today we will see one example with the code, var, sap, how to use them. Actually, I told you that they are not regularly used. Some websites use them. And yesterday I showed you those websites. What are the websites? That means every website doesn't require these code and var like options. So how to do that is, see, let's take one example today. This is some, I showed you lead code. This is some lead code. It's a coding app. And this is the design. We have this design. So how to create such design? That means how we can do this design. Let's see how to create this design. So means not the complete design, only the code blocks I will tell you, because complete design later we will do. Here, when you look at the screen, you observe here the screen contains, let's say, here we will go to the public, some lead code HTML. And in this lead code HTML, I will use here some lead code. We will put some link, relation style sheet, and href node modules, icons, .css. And here we are writing a header. I hope you know header have how many divisions? Actually, here header is this one. This is header. How many divisions it is having? 3 divisions it is having. So we have div and div and div. Okay, in these 3 divisions, now you can see 30 days JavaScript. We will put a span 30 days JavaScript, and we have another span. How you write the spans, it doesn't matter. Even you write one below another, they will display one beside another only. So what is it? Class BI chevron left, and we have another span. This is BI chevron right, and we have another option span, class BI some async is there. This is these icons we need to search. How to search? I already told you. Icons bootstrap. This is reload, sync, arrows. Actually, arrow related. Okay, let's take any simple one. You spend more time search all this shuffle. We have a shuffle. Okay, we will use here BI shuffle. Okay, these are the icons we are having in that. Fine. Okay, next we have another part. That means the second container is having a span. BI bug is there. Okay. And we have another span, class BI run play. That is actually play symbol. Uses run word. And we have another span, class BI cloud. Cloud arrow down, cloud arrow up. Okay. And we have like submit. So we have another class BI new or document file. Okay, we have file. Okay, next right side. I will just put few of them. Others you put. BI settings. So properties. What is it? I think gear. It is a gear. So BI gear. Okay. And we have like register. And we have another span like register or sign in. Actually, they are buttons. I'm just using that span premium. Okay. Just I added all this, and this is there. We are having all these options there. And actually, this is file. Okay, file and mark. That is the file and mark. Okay. So these are the icons we are having. So what we will do, let's go in the style for header. So we will put a background color RGB. So actually if you put 000, black will come. After that, you can move mouse onto it. The color picker will come. You can select a color shade. Automatically, its color will be there. We will have padding 10 pixel. Display is what? Flex. Justify content space between. So now the appearance will be like this. So font family Arial and font size as some 16 pixel. Little size increased here. Okay. Then we are using in header wherever span is present, margin right as 10 pixel. Some gap we will give. Okay, wherever it is there. Font size 20 pixel. That's fine. Okay. And that last one is a premium na? Class BTN premium. Okay. So we have dot BTN premium. Okay, what should be color? Some gold. So that is the color we have. Border 1 pixel solid gold. And padding as some 5 pixel. That's just like a button like appearance. Huh? We are just adding a button like appearance for that. Right side, we have that premium option there. So background color, some white, then it can keep its appearance little visible. Huh? Border radius as 5 pixel. We have the premium button like that. Left side logos will come. Logos we will learn later. Logos are for images. We will learn later. Okay, now below this, we need two divisions. You see here it is having two divisions now. It is having two divisions. Okay, then how do we create those two divisions? So that means below the header, we are having what? Section. We are having section. Section have two divisions, div and div. Okay. So this division will have a class panel left and this will have a class panel right. Two panels are present. So now we will write here. What is it? Section. Margin top is 10 pixel and height I will give as some 500 pixel or yeah, section height is 500 pixel. And the display is what? Grid template columns. How many fraction? 6 fraction and 6 fraction here. We are having like that. That means now what we will do is here. So panel dot panel 1 comma dot panel 2. You can write with a comma if you want both of them same effect. If you want both of them same effect, then you can put a comma. Different effects individually you can write. So what is this panel 1? Panel left, panel left and panel right. We given the word panel left and right. Okay. Okay. For that, what we will do is background color is white. Actually, why I'm giving like that? Actually, body background color, I will put light gray. Light gray background color, I will keep it for that. Even very light gray, I can add a little bit. Okay. So, and the panel left and right will have this. and we need some gap between them. You can see background is gray, the panels are this. We want some gap between grid. There is an option grid gap. Grid gap 10 pixel, then you will see some gap will come. There is some gap between the grid. You can add that by using grid gap. Okay, now what should happen? In left panel some content, in right panel some content. We need to display the content. And the interesting part is left panel, lot of content scrollable. Right? That depends on how much content you keep. Right? How do you make it scrollable? I will show you. So actually, the height is how much? 500. Now, what we will do is that means panel left and panel right, both height is how much? Height is how much? 500 pixel. Both are having same height. You can adjust little bit 550 pixel. It will adjust like that. So 500 looks fine. Okay, that's fine. Now what should happen is in the left panel, if there is more content, it should be scrollable. So what we can do is here, we will put lot of content in left panel just to show you. I will put lorem. I will copy lot of paragraphs information in the left panel. Okay. And you will see that it goes outside. Am I right? That means, so I will go here. So the left and right panels, I will add some padding also. Padding as 10 pixel. The panel will be having some padding. Lot of content is outside, but height is 500 only. If any content is outside, we call it overflow. It is overflowing. So what you do is you write here panel left dot panel left overflow hidden. Hidden means it will not show the content which is overflowing. That means after the height is finished, the content is blocked, hidden. It is not showing. But I don't want hidden. I want to view it. Then we will put scroll. Scroll means it will put a scroll bar. Understood? It will put a scroll bar. But see here, which scroll bar came? This is vertical scroll bar. Actually, horizontal scroll bar also came. But it is unnecessary. We want only vertical scroll bar. So better you keep as auto. Means which scroll bar is needed for that particular width and height, it will decide. According to content, it will decide. So what will happen now? You can see the only vertical scroll bar will come. We don't have a horizontal scroll bar here. We are having only vertical scroll bar. That's perfect. Now in this scrollable, right side fixed. It's your wish. Right side also you can put scrollable. How content becomes scrollable? To create scrollable content, what should be done? You need to put a container. Means you should put a container. This container should have a fixed height width. Fixed height width. That means you have to mention height. How it is, how much? Suppose 200 pixel. Now the content should go outside that. Now the outside content is overflowing content. How you can control the overflowing content? Overflow you can hidden, or overflow we can set scroll, or overflow we can keep as auto. What is the best one? Auto. Remember, Will scroll bar come every time? That depends on height and content. Scroll bar will not come every time. It depends on how much content you are keeping inside, how much information is, how much height and width is present. That's important. So what happens now? Let's put this auto. So what is the new thing you have seen here now is CSS overflow. So it is used to control the overflowing content in a container. So if container have fixed width and height, then content inside container will overflow. The content inside container will overflow. So you can set overflow as hidden, scroll, and auto. Suppose we have a div. Div is having some height, some 200 pixel overflow as scroll. Like this I am giving. That is how we write. Remember, if you don't mention a fixed height or width, overflow will not work. If I don't give height, what will happen? The container height will be automatically adjusting according to content. Content is growing, container is also growing. So we need a fixed height for container, then you can implement this overflow, right? Okay. Now, next point is once we know how to design the overflow, so this is what we have. Okay. Now let me clean up these paragraphs. These paragraphs I am deleting. Okay. Now you will see that there is no scroll bar because scroll bar comes according to the content inside. Okay. Now let's put the content inside. You see, this is one important text here. That is actually heading. Heading. That means it is a heading for your content. Here two choices are there. You want this heading to be SEO friendly, or you want to just show as heading. That depends on your requirement. What is SEO friendly? If anybody is searching for create hello world function in Google, then this program will come in results. It is able to find it. No, we don't want this to be found in such results. We want just only to present. Then you can put a div, you can write some span and you can keep it. If you want SEO friendly, then important is here. If you want SEO friendly, then we need here, we need to keep these options. Actually, in this left panel, there are some shortcuts. Huh? You can put those shortcuts in the left panel. Okay. What are the shortcuts? So let's put here a div. This is having a class shortcuts. Okay. And what are the shortcuts it is having? Span, description, right? Description. And another span, editorial. And another span, solutions. Another span, submissions. Submissions, yeah. Okay, now we need some reasonable icons. Actually, description or notes. Okay, this is fine. I will use card text like that. These are all content we are having. Journal text. BI, journal text. Okay, that is fine. What is this editorial? Book. So class BI book. Okay. What is solution? BI hourglass. That is the solution. Actually, it is not hourglass. Fine. We'll keep relative that. BI submissions. Submissions are with symbol. So arrow. Suppose arrow clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay. Now you can see those are present here. I'm just adding few of them there. So that means what we will do. So for the shortcuts, dot what? Shortcuts, background color light gray, and I will keep it more lighter than what it is. Okay. And padding as 5 pixel and font family Arial. And font size is some 18 pixel. That looks like this. And 16 or 15 pixel. Okay, fine. Okay, next in the shortcuts, wherever span is there, margin right is 20 pixels, some gap will come. And here description, editorial, solutions, submissions, some gap I am adding there. That is fine. At the top, we are having that. Okay, below this, now how do we put the headings? Here, some important points. So now we will see here in HTML, we will learn about headings in HTML. How you can use headings in HTML. So knowing about headings is a simple thing. That means actually its concept is very limited. That means anybody teaches you about heading in just 10-15 seconds enough. Headings are defined with H1 to H6. They are used for headings. Finish. But entire interview for a experienced level person, we can conduct 1 hour interview on just heading. That means 1 hour interview just on heading. That means people can't imagine that heading have so much complexity inside it. That means generally anywhere when you learn about heading, it's just a 1-minute topic. Any website or YouTube channels will give you just 1-minute topic. But the questions related to that will make you doubt about what you know about heading. Think about what you know about heading. What are those? Let's see. Actually, headings are defined. Headings are defined with HN element. So here N refers to level number of heading from 1 to 6. There are 6 heading levels. That means we write H1. This is heading 1. H1 close. H2, this is heading 2 and heading 2 close. Like that, how many levels we can give? H6. Up to heading 6, we can give H6. These are the heading levels. So heading level 1 to 6, that's what we can give. Gradually from 1 to 6, heading levels will decrease. That means 6 is the least and 1 is the highest, means large heading level. Now, what are the questions about it? We will see. What are the questions about these headings? First, let me show you the headings. Suppose I am typing here. So below this, I am typing a div. Okay. Here I am typing H1, web development. And under that, we have H2, that is front end. Under that, we have H3. This is front end. Okay. This is HTML. And we have some text. It is a markup language. Okay. Then H3, CSS. So it defines styles for HTML. Okay. Now here you see the headings have a ready-made appearance. Headings are bold. Headings have large size, right? And headings have a line break above below. That means the headings will keep your content like this. We are keeping the content in this way. Now the question is, why to use a heading element for headings? Without that also we can display like that. For example, see. So don't worry what I am writing, just observe. I will put a break. I will put font size as 5. I will put bold. Later you will learn about that, right? Just see. I will say JavaScript and we will put break. Okay. And here we will say it manipulates DOM, something like this. You see, JavaScript also looks like HTML, CSS only. It also looks like HTML, CSS only. Then the question is, then why to write heading through heading element? So why to write heading with heading element if you can define the same without heading? Because for a person who is watching your website, he don't know HTML. He don't care what you use in the background. For him, he must feel it as heading. And usually you can feel it as heading. Then why to use a heading element for that? That is the first question. So that means the first question, the frequently asked questions related to this. Why you need a heading element if you can design similar using styles or HTML or other elements? Why you need a heading element if you can design similar using styles or other elements? What is the necessity of heading element? That is the first question. So for fresher level, experience level, depth of questions will be changing. That means, okay, this is the first question, why you need this. Now, the answer is very straightforward. To, to make headings in page SEO friendly. If you don't give heading with heading element, then search engine cannot recognize as a heading. That means if a search engine is searching your page, it crawls the page, it crawls on the page and it will show result. That means if search engine comes to this page, it will show a result. What is that result? It says that in front end, there are two topics. That means search engine tells that in front end, there are two topics. One is HTML, another CS. Search engine will not recognize JavaScript as a topic because search engine can identify it as a topic only when it is defined with a heading. I will show you. Actually, search engines means what? Logically robots with some programming. I will just roughly show you. Don't worry what I am writing. I am writing a simple logic. Means I am writing some JavaScript code. So I'm just writing some JavaScript code. I will just show you that where list is equal to document.get elements by tag name h3. And I will put console log. So total number of subtopics in front end. How many are there? I will put list.length. And you see here, I am writing some logic. Don't worry what I written. Observe carefully here. In the console, you can see total number of subtopics in front end 2. I written some program to read the number of topics. That means it is showing 2 means it is not including the JavaScript. It is including only these 2. That means robots use such program in the background. Now, that means for robots, there are 2 topics. For general people who are watching, it is 3 topics. That means it is not good to mention like this. You need to mention that by using what? Heading. What is that heading? JavaScript. Then you will see that it will say topics are 3 now. That is very important. What program I am writing, don't worry about that. Right? This is how internally program works actually. The program works. That is how robots work. Robots are artificial intelligence programs. Right? That means you need to understand why you need a heading. This is not required. I'll just delete this. Just to show you the point. That's not at all required. In JavaScript, you will learn how to write such logic. This is the point. So what is the question? Why you need a heading element? So if you can design similar without heading, right? Okay. This is first concept. Second point is that means to make SEO friendly. What is SEO friendly means? Search engine can identify the list, identify and make a list of topics in page only when defined with headings. Only when defined with headings. Only when defined with headings. That is the reason you need a heading element. That's the first point. Okay. Next important question here is, so what are the default styles applied to heading. What are the default styles applied to heading? See this and tell me. Means observe carefully. For this word web development, I given heading, right? For web development word, I given heading H1, right? So see the output. By seeing this, tell me what styles are working here. What styles are working here? Font, size, next, font, weight, good. Font size, font weight. What else? Family is same as default family. There is no special font family applied for it. Line break is not a CSS style, na? It's a HTML. Then how it gets a line break? How it gets a line break? That means anything you try to put beside will not work. That means it is also using display as what? Block. That means every heading by default is using three styles. One is font size, font weight, another one display block. These are the three effects it is by default using. So that is the answer for that. So what are the default styles applied? So font size, font weight, and display block. These are the options applied. These are the styles applied for that. Default styles applied for heading, font size, font weight, and display block. Okay. So this is another question that you get. That means now you exactly know what is being applied for a heading. Now in interviews, this is the challenging one they ask. In interviews, they ask like how to remove any specific default style. I want it to work like heading, but I don't want bold. I want size. I want block, but I don't want bold. How to remove bold from this heading? So that is the question asked, how to remove bold from the heading. What you will apply? You should not apply anything. You should remove. It is already applied. You should not apply anything. You should remove which is applied already. So generally for any HTML element, if any style is applied implicitly, implicitly means you are not mentioning, automatically it is working. Then what you can do is here for which one? Heading one. So what you can do is go here, write heading one. Okay, what style you want to remove? Bold. Bold is what? Font weight. You have to keep unset. You need to keep unset. That means now what will happen for heading one? Bold will not be there. But it is still heading. It is SEO friendly, but bold is not there. I don't want the size also. Then what you do is font size unset. That means size also removed, but still it is heading. And remember, anything I type beside that web development, beside the web development as suppose welcome something, it will not come beside, it will come below only. I want to remove that breaks it is having. Then what I should do? So we have to write another one. What is it? Display as unset. Display also remove. Then it will put beside. In some interviews, this is experience level. Many experienced people also don't know this. They don't know. Seriously, this is a question asked in React.js interviews because they know that several senior people even don't know very complex HTML. They know HTML. That means they don't know very complex HTML, in-depth HTML. They know HTML, even they are experienced. If it is a question asked in React.js interviews means it's very complex. That means React.js is very high level. In that interview, they are asking such questions means that means they think React developers are genius in HTML. And you have to have that knowledge of HTML. That much depth knowledge of HTML is required, right? So this is very important. So instead of doing all this, you can do one more actually. What is that? You can say all unset. That means all the styles will be removed. You can remove any specific, you can remove all. Because we have a lot of effects, everything we should remove. That means why you are removing? Because we want that as a heading for SEO, but we don't want that effect, right? So in that case, we use this technique, right? So how do you remove that? Any specific style? So you can remove any specific style for HTML elements using CSS unset value. Using CSS unset value. So what you can do is syntactically, so heading font weight as unset, like this we can do. So display as unset, like this we can use. Or you can put another way also. What you can do is H1, you can put all as what? Unset. That is how we can define. So that is how you can remove any specific style. This is not only for heading, for anyone you can do that. So that is unset. You can use unset. Now another point is, can we change styles defined for heading? Can we change the styles defined for heading? Heading is already have style. So heading have a font size. Can I change that font size? Yes, we can do that. So we can change the styles defined for heading. So you can change existing styles or apply new styles. You can apply new styles or existing styles. It's not necessary that you have to show heading in the same way how it is, right? That's simple. Right. So this is another point is that is general option. So you can change. What you can do is for heading one, already some style may be there. We can say font family as Algerian. Okay, it will display like that. We can change font size, color, anything we can adjust and we can implement that. We can change the size, right? We can change the effects and change the style. That is another point. Now here, some more important note is that is so do not use too many headings in a page. There is no count, there is no number, but do not use too many headings in a page. Why? Because it may spam the page. It may spam the page. There is nothing like how many number that that is not about number, that is about common sense. That means you kept two paragraphs and you written 10 headings. That looks nonsense. Right? That is about common sense, not about technique. That means you put one paragraph and say 20 headings in that. That's like not satisfying. Even robots think that you are doing nonsense. That's the reason they spam. What is spam? It's like a dustbin. That means anything robots think that it is useless, it will put in a spam. That means even robot thinks that you'd written some useless code, right? Why? Because there is no meaning, sense about it. Why it is not having sense? Because how you can have 10 headings in two paragraphs content? That means there is nothing like count. Do I need to have 10 headings or 4 headings? That depends on content. That means we should be reasonable in using headings. If you use too many headings to highlight everything in the page, then robots will spam. So we should be careful about that. Another important is do not use headings for highlighting any word or sentence in a paragraph. That's very important. Paragraph. Do not use headings for highlighting any words or sentence in a paragraph. Use headings only for headings. What many times people try to do is in a particular sentence, one word we need to highlight. Then to highlight that word, what they do, they put a heading style because headings have bold, heading have font size, but heading also have a display block. It will break the sentence. Even you remove, that's not good because that word, it will think like a topic. SEO will think that word as a topic. That is the reason we should not use headings for highlighting words and sentence. We should use headings only for headings, right? That's a simple concept. How to write headings and what are the points about headings. Some more techniques you will understand in next levels about this point. I hope you are clear. So heading is a simple point, but the questions around is complex, right? Why to use headings, how to remove the default styles, what are the default styles, how you modify the styles, all these are important. Okay. Next, one more point is actually that later you will learn. So already I showed you unset. We have inheritance options. Later you will learn about inheritance. That means generally what happens is, for example, you see that is a inheritance question actually. So what happens is panel left panel left is having color as red, then what happens is the headings also red color. I given for panel red. That means inside the panel, any normal content is present, it should be red. Why headings became red? Why headings became red? You will tell that headings became red because they are inside panel. They are inside panel. That's the reason whatever effects you given for panel, they are applied to heading. Am I right? Heading is inside panel. Whatever effect you given for panel, it is applied to heading. Is it right? Is it right? It's not right. Why? Because can you tell me what effects I given for panel? For panel, I given a border. For panel, I given a padding. For panel, I given a background color white. And for panel, I given color as red. But heading applied only color. Where is border? Why there is no border for heading? Why there is no padding for heading? That means if your answer is like because it is inside parent, it will inherit all the parent. It will not inherit all. It inherited only color. It is not inheriting border. It is not inheriting padding. It is not inheriting other effects. It is inheriting only color. That means you see here, I will take you in a new page to make you more understanding. It's easy to understand. Actually, you see, we have a div. This div have a class called container. In this div, we put some heading. Heading is welcome. That is inside the container, we have heading. Now what happens is for style in container, for container, I given border as 2 pixel double border and some red color. Padding as 20 pixel and color as red. Then what happened here is the effect border effect is applied here. Suppose it is 12 pixel. Okay, it is like this. Now what happens is for container, whatever effects I given, all effects are not applied to heading. Heading is using only color. That means a child element is inheriting parent effects, but not all effects, only few. How do you make it inherit all effects? Then what you can do is simply you can write here, heading to all effects inherit. All inherit. All inherit. Then you can see heading to inheriting everything. It inherited the parent border. It inherited the parent padding. It inherited the parent color. It is inheriting all. I don't want like that. It should inherit parent border. It should inherit parent color. It should inherit parent padding, but not color. Then what you do? That means what to inherit? Border inherit. So border inherit. Okay, that means it inherited the border. Okay, padding also inherit. Padding also inherited. Color don't inherit. Then what you do? I return color unset. Color unset. It's not working. Why? Because color is not default. Na? Unset means default. That means it is not a default one. It is an inherited one. Then you have to use initial. Initial means before inheriting, what was there? Initial color. Initial color is what? Black, inherited with red. Then initial is black. If these kind of questions are asked, out of 199% people can't answer. They don't have an answer for that until or unless they are extremely experienced in web design. With even extremely experienced also, I never got an answer for this from even senior people. I never got from past 20 years. I have seen, I never got an immediate answer from any senior experienced person for this question when I asked in class. That means these are very, very important for interviews. Not only interviews, even design wise also important. Why design wise important? Unnecessarily some effect is coming without your implementation. You are not asking it, but it is coming. Then how you will remove it? That is the problem people face very much, that you need to know by using these techniques. So what is this question here is, another question here is, so how to inherit parent styles, parent element styles. How to inherit parent element styles? So by using CSS inherit value, that means we write like this. Example I will give, we will write here border inherit, padding inherit, like this we write. Now the point is how to set default state for inherited styles. How to set default state for inherited styles? By using CSS initial value. By using CSS initial value, you can do. So suppose I given some color as what? Initial. So when to use unset? If it is the default effect, you have to use unset. If it is an inherited effect, you have to use initial. So another question is, what is difference between unset and initial? So if it is inherited effect, inherited style, then you have to use, if it is inherited style, we have to use initial. So if it is default style, then you have to use what? Unset. Default style unset, inherited style initial. That's the CSS related options. Means these are very important while working with headings and all, because the parent styles are automatically implemented, inherited, we can reset them. Right. This example I will copy for you. That is the example just to show you the paddings, means show you the inheritance options, how to work with them. Right. So that is headings. Now, according to that, we can apply here what we do. Let's go to the design. What is the design here? Yeah, this is the design, and I will copy there. Color I will remove, and clean up this headings and all. Okay. Here we will write the same options now. So what is the first thing below? Below the shortcuts, we will put a div, and what we want here. So we want this sentence. So that is 266. It's not allowing to copy. Okay. So we put a heading one style. What is it? 267. 2667. And what is it? Create hello world function. Create hello world function. That is the heading we are having. Now you can see that is the heading we are having. How to change that effect we already learned. That means what we will do, heading 1, font family as some monospace. Monospace is a font family like that. That's a different font family. Usually such sample text contains that font family. That looks fine, or you can use any another one. Traditionally Arial or something like, then it will display like this. And actually heading 1 font size as suppose 20 pixel, the font size is adjusted. You can increase or decrease. And remember, you have to give heading only when you think it is required to be SEO friendly. We want it SEO friendly, then put it. If you don't want, just leave it. That depends on that content. Okay. Next, what? Below the heading, we are having these two, easy and companies. Okay. That means below the heading, we have a division. In that we have a span. So it is easy, and we have another span, companies, right? And what is the class? Easy is normal. Companies is having some text symbol. Class BI lock fill. Something like this we are having. Okay. Then this is class easy. They are BI lock fill. So this is dot easy and dot BI lock fill. For both of them, I will give background color as some light gray. We will give padding. Both of them means you have to put a comma. Otherwise, it become parent and child. Padding is 2 pixel. Okay. Border radius is some 5 pixel. Okay. We have some effect like that. And margin right, I will give as 5 pixel. Some gap will come. That's fine. Padding is 5 pixel. That looks okay. So font family as Arial. That's the option we are having. Font size is some 14 pixel. That takes it simple, small. Okay. These are the options we are having. So just color, we say aqua, marine. So that color will be, oh, it looks dark cyan. Okay. I'll just use this color for the content. That's fine. Now below this, we need another content, and see here. This is actually some normal paragraph of information. In that paragraph, you have some words highlighted. So how do you design paragraphs? Now here another HTML concept you will understand is about paragraphs. Paragraphs and paragraphs, and block quotes. Again, the concept of these two, they are actually simple. Again, questions will be huge. That means a lot of requirements will be there. You will face a lot of questions also because questions are related to their designs regularly. So what are paragraphs? They are very simple. Paragraph is P element, and block quote is block quote element. Block quote element. Paragraph element, block quote element. So block quote element. So actually, what is the concept about paragraph is? So block quote generally here, paragraph is to keep content relative, and block quote is to keep the summary about content. Is to keep summary about content. Generally, block quotes are used for summarizing the content. You keep the summary about content using block quote, and paragraph is for just keep relative content. That means, for example, we are typing 2 lines. Suppose first I will show here a simple one. Means in this, I will keep a div. Suppose I'm giving some lorem. This is a paragraph. This is lorem. This is paragraph. Like that, we have some paragraphs. You see some paragraphs of information is here. I need a clean separation of paragraphs. If I put div for every paragraph, SEO thinks that one div means division, second div is not related to first, but all are related, but we want division. You cannot use div. Then how you will make related without division? Then we can put this in a paragraph. What does this means? This means that all these 4 are related to each other. All the 4 are related to same concept. If I use 4 divisions, now it thinks that second one is not related to first one. But all are related to each other. Then better way to put as paragraph. Now all are related to each other. By default, paragraph have a line break above and below. But actually, the top one is a summary about whatever you written below. Top one is the summary about whatever you written below. Usually you see newspapers, magazines, articles. Then if you think the first one is a summary, then put as a block quote. If you put as a block quote, then it looks like this. Block quotes by default have indentation, left indent, right indent. You can see some gap. You may ask like, this I can give with padding left, padding right also. Then why should I use one block quote? That is all SEO friendly. Everything is SEO friendly. That means why you should use block quote? Because now the search engines can understand this is the summary of the topic. That means search engines will not read the topic. Search engines will read the summary and it will show the summary. How you will tell that this is the summary? Then we do one thing here. Means actually just appearance like that. What you do? Wherever block quote is there, we will put font style as italic, and text align as justify. Justify right side raggedness will reduce, and padding left is 100 pixel and padding right also 100 pixel. Now you can see it looks like this. That is the summary about the topic that you are writing. That is the summary about the topic you are writing. the summary about the topic. These are called block quotes. We call them as block quotes. Block quotes are used for summarizing the contents, summarizing the topics. So without block quote also you can do it. Put a div, left margin, right, left padding, right padding, italic, same will. Then why to use block quote? Why to use paragraph? That is all to make SEO friend, to make search engine friendly. You need to use this. So these are very simple things. They are not very complex. Syntactically, how you do paragraph, some text, and we have block quote. You can put some text. The main concept is paragraph is for relative content, block quote is for summary, for summarizing the content. Syntactically, what example is nothing but block quote have a, we can put some style, font style as what, italics. We have like padding left. By default, they have padding. We have padding left 100 pixel, padding right as 100 pixel, text align as justify. Like this, we can add the effects. We can define and add the effects like that. Right. So this is a paragraph and block quote. Now, what are the regular questions here? So the frequently asked questions related to this. Everybody knows these very well. What is a paragraph? What is a block quotes? These are very basic things. But what is the first question in regular requirements? How to set first line indent? Indent for paragraph or block quote. That is very popular. That means in paragraph, we want first line with some gap. How you will do that? That is the first question. That means in a paragraph, we want first line with some gap. Usually paragraph first line will have some gap. How you will keep that? So for that, we have to use using CSS text indent attribute. Actually, this is text indent. Attribute. We have a new attribute. I will show that. So for block code, we are using text indent. Text indent attribute, I will give 50 pixel. That means you will see that block code first line with some gap. That is the first line indent. How you can give a first line indent from some gap? That generally you can apply by using text indent. So syntactically for block quote or paragraph, you can put text indent. Text indent is first line indent, some 50 pixel like that. How you set for the text indent. Next, another important in the means while working with paragraphs and block quotes, another important is how to set drop caps. These are also very popular in documenting. You know, if you know the word processing softwares like MS Word and all, you know what is a drop cap? You have that option in MS Word, drop caps. Drop cap is nothing but usually, you know, word processing softwares. In the word processing softwares, you will have formatter, insert. You have like drop caps. They are very common in documentations. Drop cap means the first letter must be large capital letter. That means for this first paragraph, L should be large. That is drop cap. For that, we need to implement some techniques. First, only for first paragraph it should apply, not for all. Then we will apply class, that is P1, paragraph 1. Otherwise, it will work for all. If you write P, it will work for all paragraph. I want only for that paragraph, then put a class name. What is the class name? P1. Okay. And for P1 is class. So dot P1. In P1, I need to first access the first letter of paragraph. First letter of paragraph. We have to use a double colon first letter. First letter is this is actually we call CSS classes. So first letter is a CSS class. It's a ready-made class. Generally, we call it as a class. What is a class in computer programming? It contains predefined data and logic. We can just implement that class and we can use its functionality without writing the functionality. Actually, to access a first letter from a paragraph, you have to write a logic. Without writing the logic, already logic is written, just you implement it. With the logics which are already written and you are just using them, that is what class concept is. Later in OOPS and all, you will learn more about them in JavaScript. Class is a predefined logic. It is already written. You just implement. This double colon indicates inheritance. You are inheriting. That means what happens is now the paragraph can access the first letter. And for first letter, we will give font size as 20 pixel or 25 pixel and font family as Arial, only first letter. That means it is going to work only for first letter. But important is it should drop down. That means what we have to do is we have to make float left. Then it will drop. If you don't make it float left, content will not come right side. We need to make it float left, then it will come. The size, the number of lines depends on how much size you give. That means you are giving font weight as bold, then it will be bold. You are increasing the font size. Font size increasing means number of lines will be increased. Depends on how much content you are having. That's how we can display. This is drop caps. We call them as drop cap. And to handle drop caps, what are the points to work? To put the drop caps, how to set a drop cap? So here, first point is, so access the first character, first letter of paragraph by using CSS class, that is first letter class, double colon first letter. After that, apply float and float font size and styles. That means syntactically, you have a paragraph, double colon first letter, and we have to use float left, and you have to write font size. Remember, as I told you already, these attributes order, you can write any order. First size, after that float, doesn't matter. Then font family, Arial. Like this, we are defining. Anything, colors, effects, styles you can apply. So paragraph is also a simple thing, but dealing with paragraph is important. That means how you will put first line indent, how you put a drop cap. These are questions asked in interview. Nobody will ask you how to put a paragraph. What is P element? How to put paragraphs? That's not a question, right? The formats, the styles about them is question. Then another regular requirement is how to set space between lines, words, and characters. That's we have by using CSS attributes. We have line height. This is for line spacing. We have word spacing. Word spacing. Space between words. And letter spacing. This is space between letters. So line height for line spacing, word spacing, letter spacing. These are very commonly used for paragraphs. So how do we use for paragraphs? Line height, word spacing, letter spacing. So now let's see here for paragraphs or block quotes anywhere. I will give line height. Line height as 15 pixel. That means space between lines will increase 25 pixel. That means the space between lines will increase. The space between lines will increase. So line height 35 pixel. It will be more space between the lines here. And we are having so word spacing as some 5 pixel, some gap between the words. We have letter spacing 2 pixels, some gap between the letters, the gap between letters, words, and all this. That is general spacing, how we can apply. So I'm just copying this complete example for you. Complete example I am copying. This is lead code example. Right? Still it is not done. We are just learning few contents inside that. Then we can add them here. So you have learned how to use the headings and how to use the paragraphs. Now we will finish that example with some more. We have to learn some more things we need to understand that we will see in tomorrow's session. Right, tomorrow we will continue. I given this example for your practice, this entire example, but in that example, we will design rest of part later. Today we learned some more elements, headings and paragraph. For paragraph, some more questions are there that we will see in tomorrow's session. We will continue about that. Okay, right. Class code everyone take from admin. Admin will give you the class code. Huh?